I want to talk to you about banks that pay interest on checking accounts this year, and we're talking about up to 5.15% APY. That's just really fantastic. So here are the best. One, I want to talk to you about All America Bank Ultimate Rewards Checking, and so here you have a 5.15% with a $0 minimum balance for APY. So that's really good because you don't have any sort of condition in terms of earning the 5.15%. So the Ultimate Rewards Checking account from All America Bank offers a very competitive 5.15% APY. Can you imagine that? On balances up to $15,000 every month and 0.5% APY for balances over that amount. So once you are over $15,000, you actually get an APY that's really lower, okay? Other perks of this high yield checking accounts include up to $25 in foreign ATM fees refunds every month, no minimum balance requirements, and no monthly fee. So opening the account online requires a $500 minimum deposit, and the rewards are solid, but here is the catch. To take advantage of the high rate, you'll need to receive electronic statements and make at least 10 debit card transactions every single month. And otherwise, the APY is 0.25%, and paper statements cost $3 per month. Note that 10 online bill pay transactions are included for free every month, and each additional transaction costs 50 cents. Next, you have the Presidential Bank Advantage checking account, and we are looking at here 4.62% APY, and there is a $500 minimum opening deposit. So this is kind of cool. Now, this bank actually is not a national bank. This bank is based in Maryland, and the bank actually operates 10 branches and offers accounts nationwide online. So to earn the Advantage checking account APY, you'll need to meet requirements regarding direct deposits and electronic withdrawals. So that's really good. But 4.62%, that's really fantastic. You need to set up the direct deposit of $500 or more from your payroll, Social Security, pension, or annuity payments. Okay, so that's really the major conditions here. And at least you gotta have at least 7 withdrawals need to take place every month through ATMs, bill payments, automatic clearinghouse, ACH, or POS withdrawals. Next, you have Access Bank Rewards checking account. And if you're talking about the banks that pay interest on checking accounts, you will love this Access Bank. And so you have up to 3.30% APY, $50 minimum opening deposit. So if you think about Access Bank, I want you to think about an online-only bank that offers a full suite of deposit products, including several checking accounts. And the Rewards checking account works differently from many other high-yield checking accounts in that it really provides separate interest earning opportunities. And the cool thing is if you meet the requirements for all of them, you'll earn a combined APY of 3.3%. So you can earn up to 3.3% on balances up to $50,000, and no interest is earned on any portion of your balance greater than that amount. In terms of direct deposit requirements, actually you gotta have monthly direct deposits totaling $1,500 or more. So this, if you actually meet that requirement, this will allow you to qualify for a rate of 0.40%. And one thing I need to say here is that when we talk about banks that really pay you pay you interest on checking account, the direct deposit requirement must be met in order to qualify for an additional interest earning opportunities. Okay, so this is an important element to think about. What about the debit card transaction requirements? Well, making 10 debit card purchases of $3 or more per month will add 0.3% to your total APY. Alternatively, you could sign up for account aggregation in Personal Finance Manager during online banking. So, pretty straightforward. And also with this account, the Access Bank Rewards checking account, you have an investment portfolio daily balance. So maintaining an average balance of $2,500 per month in an Access Managed Portfolio Invest account will add 1% to your rewards checking account APY. You also have self-directed trading account daily balance. So maintaining an average daily balance of $2,500 in an Access Invest Self-Direct Trading Invest account will add 1% to your rewards checking account APY. So this is an important element to think about. So, and the cool thing is that now you have to watch out for a few things. Some savers may find one or more of the APY earning opportunities difficult to qualify for, especially if you are not used to actually having multiple transactions online that way. When we talk about banks that pay you interest on checking accounts, I want to introduce you to not a bank here, but we have a credit union. So you have LMCU, Lake Michigan Credit Union, and they have an account called Max Checking Account, the Max Checking Accounts. And so here you have 3% APY, $0 minimum. Let me break it down for you. So Lake Michigan Credit Union makes it very easy for anyone to join, even if the bank is actually based in Michigan. You can still qualify nationally. Okay, the not a bank, the credit union. Now the credit union operates more than 60 branches, and accounts can also be opened online. So no restriction in terms of geography here. Okay, and if you will qualify for the max checking accounts APY when you meet requirements regarding direct deposits, debit purchases, number of account logins, and electronic statements. So in terms of flexibility and operational flexibility, you really will love that aspect of things. Now, what's the portion of balance that earns the high APY? Well, up to $15,000 of your balance will earn the 3% APY. Any amount beyond that will not earn interest. What about direct deposit requirements? Well, one or more direct deposits every single month. Okay, this is an important element. And also debit card transaction requirements, at least 10 debit card purchases per month. In terms of login requirements, at least 4 logins to online or mobile banking per month. They want you to use the account. Okay, they do not want it to have the account inactive. So you got to use the account and actually have transactions go through the account. Also, in terms of electronic statement requirements, you'll need to be enrolled in e-statements. So if you want to earn the 3% APY at LMCU, you got to be enrolled in e-statements. And now there's something you have to watch out for. The max checking account doesn't pay any interest on the portion of your balance above $15,000. So above that, you might need to actually be a little more creative in terms of how you manage your cash to be able to access that amount, to access the 3% APY. Next, I want to share with you Heritage Bank e-Sentive checking accounts. If you're thinking about banks that pay interest on checking accounts, you will love the e-Sentive checking accounts. And the APY here is kind of low, but hey, listen, it's still good anyway. 2.02%, so 2% APY, $100 minimum opening deposit. So employee-owned Heritage Bank is based in Spicer, Minnesota, and offers checking accounts, savings accounts, and CDs, certificates of deposits. To qualify for the e-Sentive checking APY, you will need to meet requirements regarding direct deposit, debit transactions, and electronic statements. And portion of balance that earns high APY, you will earn 2.02% on balances of up to $100,000. And portions greater than $100,000 earn 0.14% APY. And accounts that don't meet requirements will earn APY of 0.05%. So it's still good anyway. And in terms of direct deposit requirements, you got to have one or more direct deposit or ACH transaction per month. In terms of debit card transaction requirements, at least $500 in debit purchases in a month. And you must be signed up for e-statements. And one thing you need to really understand, if you close the account within 6 months of opening it, you will be charged a $30 fee. Next, you have Quonic Bank high interest checking accounts. And here you have up to 1.10% APY, $100 minimum opening deposit. So that's kind of cool. And so Quonic Bank is a digital bank that offers competitive rates and a low minimum deposit requirements on its deposit products. The bank's high interest checking accounts earns a lower yield than some other high interest checking accounts. But what we love here is that the requirements are also somewhat easier to meet. So nothing really complicated, pretty straightforward process. So in terms of the portion of balance that actually earns high interest, high APY, the entire balance. So there is no sort of threshold to meet. The entire balance will earn the high APY. What about debit card transactions requirements? At least 10 debit card purchases of $10 or more per statement cycle. So this is something to really think about. Now, what should you watch out for? Well, not meeting the required debit card purchases will result in an APY of just 0.01%. So you can see that this is really you got to be clear about what you want. Otherwise, you just losing money. Not losing money, but you're not going to earn as much. Next, I want to talk to you about CCU. Now, CCU is just a credit union, so nothing really complicated here in terms of what you can actually expect to have. So CCU is Consumers Credit Union. So the checking account that we have here is the free rewards checking, and so the APY here is 3%. But there are cases where you can earn up to 5% APY. Okay, and so you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $10,000 in this high yield checking account at Consumers Credit Union. If you also make 12 monthly debit card purchases, have monthly electronic transactions of at least $500. This could include everything. It could include direct deposits, mobile check deposits, or ACH bank transfers. And you also receive e-statements. And there is a possibility to even earn more. And that's what we love about CCU here, because they actually they have democratizing the whole process, because you can actually earn even more if you use the Consumers Credit Union credit card too. So meet the requirements that I said earlier, and also make $500 in credit card purchases, and you earn 4% APY on balances up to $10,000, and make an additional $500 in credit card purchases, and the APY on balances up to $10,000 is 5%. Can you imagine? 5%. That's really good. And the good thing is, if you meet monthly requirements but have more than $10,000 in your account, the excess earns 0.10% APY or 0.20% APY depending on the amount that you have. And if you don't meet monthly requirements, your money earns 0.01% APY on all balances. So you can see that the APY here becomes very, very little. Now the big question is, if you have to go with CCU, you have to make sure that you know exactly how much transaction you will be actually processing through the account. You also have to think about the vision that you have for the account, right? Because if your goal is actually to focus on the 5%, then you have to really make sure that you time your accounts correctly, so you can actually zero in on that 5%. Otherwise, you heard me a little earlier, it's 0.01%. Next, you have Hope Rewards Checking. So if you are thinking about this account, you will love the fact that you are able to earn a maximum of 5.12%. Can you imagine? 5.12%. That's really high. And there is no minimum balance for APY. So that's really good in terms of strategy. That's really fantastic. So the reason why we like this is that, by the way, you don't have to live in a certain state or city to actually qualify for Hope Credit Union membership. You don't have to be associated with let's say with a family member. You don't have to be in a certain industry. No. You don't have to work for a specific company. You are able to join no matter where you are at. Okay. So Hope Credit Union's checking account pays 5.12% APY on balances up to $10,000 every month that you meet a few requirements. So you got to have a direct deposit to or an automatic payment out of your account. That's number one. Number two, make at least 12 debit card transactions. 12. Number three, opt into e-statements and log into your account online or on the mobile app at least once. And again, every month you got to do at least once. And if you don't meet the requirement, you will earn 0.10% APY on your balances. And what we love about this Hope Rewards checking is that it really also offers up to $20 in ATM fee reimbursement. And this is kind of cool. And to actually join Hope Credit Union, I think I said this to you before, you don't need to have any geography, any biology, whatever. You can pay a $10 membership fee, 5 of which goes to an affiliated nonprofit. So it's anybody can actually join this credit union, and you can start today. And one thing for sure, once you actually join the credit union, your membership rewards actually start accruing right away. So there's no delay whatsoever. So I just shared with you our top banks that pay interest on checking accounts. And let me give you some considerations here. When we talk about high yield checking accounts, what is it really? Well, a high yield checking account is like other interest bearing checking accounts, but it pays a better rate of return. And requirements for high yield checking accounts may include, for instance, you probably heard me, maintaining a set minimum balance, receiving direct deposit into the account, or performing a minimum number of debit card transactions every single month. The banks just want to make sure that you do not actually open the account and use it as a passive investment vehicle. They want you to use the account, okay? And so what should you be looking for in a high yield checking account? Well, you want to pay attention to the rates, the fees, access to ATMs also. That's an important element to think about. So when we talk about rates, for instance, if you're looking for the absolute best APY in a checking account, you will often find this from an online bank or a credit union. And like most savings accounts, interest-bearing checking accounts earn a yield that's variable, meaning the bank can increase or decrease the rate at its discretion. Okay. What about fees? Well, when you are in the market for an account that pays a high yield, it really helps to also find one that doesn't impose fees that eat into your balance. Common search checking account fees include monthly service fees, out-of-network ATM charges, and overdraft and non-sufficient funds fees, NSF fees. It pays to find an account that either doesn't charge such fees or makes them easy to avoid by meeting certain requirements. You also have to think about access to ATMs. So bank customers often get hit with fees for using ATMs that are not owned by their bank or in their bank's network. So if you frequently use ATMs, you want to go with a bank that provides convenient access to in-network ATMs. Some banks also reimburse you for some or all surcharges you receive from out-of-network banks for using their ATMs. So when we talk about a high yield checking account, you have to really understand that often a certain portion of the balance will earn the high APY. For instance, an account may earn a high APY for balances up to $25,000, and the portion of the balance above $25,000 will earn a lower APY, right? So it's not the whole balance. And if you don't meet the requirements, as you saw a little earlier, the not the punishment, but the result, the APY, the results in the APY will vary from bank to bank. But many banks will revert to paying a lower APY on accounts where the monthly requirements are not met. So how do you choose the best high interest checking accounts for you? Be sure to read the fine prints carefully to make sure you are able to qualify for the high APY. Common requirements include receiving direct deposits. That's check number one. Number two, making a minimum number of debit purchases per month. That's number two. Number three, signing up for electronic statements. So that's number three. You have to ask yourself, based on your financial routine, can you qualify for those criteria? So what's the bottom line here? In today's conversation, I share with you banks that pay interest on checking accounts. I give you the best, the considerations, and now the bottom line. So in terms of the best, we have All America Bank, 2, Presidential Bank, 3, Access Bank, number 4, Lake Michigan Credit Union, number 5, Heritage Bank, number 6, Quantic Bank, number 7, CCU, number 8, Hope Rewards. Check it. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.